I've been told I have a weird way of listening to music. If I have an artist I like a few songs of, I'll listen to their entire discography in chronological order. If I really like an album along the way, I'll buy it on CD and put it in my collection so I can listen to it in the car. At one point, my dad suggested that I listen to Sir Mix-a-Lot, so I listened to his first album, Swass, and really liked it. So I listened to Seminar, and Mac Daddy, and Chief Bootnaka, and Return of the Bumpasaurus. But according to Wikipedia, there's still one more album I have yet to listen to. However, when it came to actually finding it, it led me down a rabbit hole much deeper than I ever could have imagined. In this video, I'll go over my experiences with finding the album, and how you can maybe listen to it yourself. To begin my search, I got some basic info on the album from Wikipedia. It was released September 9th, 2003. It's produced by Sir Mix-a-Lot, Scott Tanner, and E-Dog. As for the personnel on the album, credited with vocals are E-Dog, Humpty, Amelia Leston, Gina Loya, Out of Sight, Tiger Tanner, and Tamika Williams, as well as Adam Ebel on the guitar. The reason I'm caught up by Humpty is that I think it might be Shock G from Digital Underground, but I'm not sure. As for the track listing, it's Daddy's Home, Big Screen, Game Don't Get Old, Big Johnson, Till the Sun Comes Up, Y'all Don't Know, Two Horse, Auction for Tricks, Candy, At the Next Show, Nasty Girl, Party Over Here, Big Ho, Resonate, and Papi Grande. It lists some times for all the songs, as well as a total time of 50 minutes and 24 seconds, although those actually add up to 53 minutes and 4 seconds. Next, I looked on Spotify to see what other information I could find. The listing on Spotify has all the same tracks with the same lengths, although it lists the album as 53 minutes and 10 seconds. The only song available to stream is Till the Sun Comes Up, which is coincidentally also listed as a single. At first I thought that's all we'll be getting from Spotify, but then I remembered that you can click on tracks to see how many times they've been listened to. And I got these numbers for all of them. That means the songs from most to least popular are Till the Sun Comes Up, Daddy's Home, Nasty Girl, Big Johnson, Big Screen, Resonate, Game Don't Get Old, Big Ho, Papi Grande, Y'all Don't Know, Candy, Two Horse, Auction for Tricks, At the Next Show, and Party Over Here. Minus our outlier, the songs on the album range from about 4 to 10,000 views each. I decided to also check Amazon. It's available for purchase, actually, for $50, but the only other interesting thing is the reviews. I bought this last night at the Sir Mix-a-Lot Boot Knockin' release party. The mix is back. 15 tracks of pure Pacific Northwest All beats. I have to say is damn. This CD is amazing. Every track has something different. This is the best since Chief Bootnaka. The best line on the whole CD is close to the end when some Latino girl says, "I love it when you eat a my taco." I almost lost control of my car when I heard that. One thing that makes this CD so good is the production. Mix is the #1 pimp when it comes to lyrics. But I gotta tell ya, I was hoping for another Mac Daddy. Be forewarned, you need to listen to it a few times, because the first time is not what true Mix-a-Lot fans might expect. Second and third time around though, will have you remembering the Swass days. The lyrical king is once again ruler of his world. I'm telling you, the new school rapper DJs ain't got nothing on Sir Mix-a-Lot. Except maybe DJ Boss Pimp from Chicago. I listened to this entire CD in less than a minute. I guess not even Sir Mix-a-Lot isn't infallible. I don't know what's sadder, the fact this thing was released, or the fact that I'll never get that 15 bucks back. I'm not saying this is a bad record. In fact, it's a really good one. But why did you have to change your voice up that you want to experiment, but I really hope that this is the only album. But if you're used to the old Mix sound, this may take a while to get used to. If I wouldn't have known this garbage was from Mixed, I'd never guess so. This CD is a nightmare. Maybe try to sell out, I don't know. This CD sounds like a mix between Britney Spears, NSYNC. It was so awesome to hear Mix was coming out with a new album, and I couldn't wait. But after hearing this, I wish he would have just stayed retired so he wouldn't have this weak album in his great catalog. And then it's radio silence for over a decade, until December of 2016 when this review was posted. CD is different but good. If you can find this CD, pick it up. It's Mix-a-Lot, just with a different sound. Good stuff. So, apparently he changes his voice and maybe the style a bit too. According to this, 10 out of 15 songs have features from 7 different people. Apparently it's somewhat reminiscent of Swass. The review from 2004 said they picked it up for $15, so clearly it wasn't rare then. But one of the 2016 reviews said, if you can pick this up. So maybe by 2016 it was a rare album again. Next, I found a review on rapreviews.com. It's a bit long, so I'll just summarize the main points. It was posted in October of 2003, about a month after the album released. Apparently the song Candy is about teaching lessons to Trix. Big Johnson is about people false bragging about their penis size. Y'all Don't Know is about Mix's popularity, even before Baby Got Back. Two Horse has a breakdown in it, and the beat is apparently made up of horse neighs. And they rated the album a 7.5 out of 10, and they really enjoyed it. The review gave excerpts of a few lyrics, so I thought we might as well check Genius Lyrics to see what some of the songs are about. Genius only has lyrics for Game Don't Get Old, Big Johnson, Resonate, and Papi Grande, and there's not a single annotation on any of them. While we're on the topic of lyrics, I also checked lyrics.com. It has lyrics for Daddy's Home, Game Don't Get Old, and Big Johnson. I can confirm that the lyrics for Game Don't Get Old and Big Johnson are most likely correct, because that's also what was in Genius. However, Daddy's Home is just the lyrics to Daddy's Home by Cliff Richard. I then checked Setlist FM to see if any of the songs have been played live. The only time any of them have was February 3rd, 2017, at the Nectar Lounge in Seattle. Till the Sun Comes Up and Big Johnson were the last 2 songs on the setlist. I then checked the AllMusic page. It lists the duration as 53 minutes and 4 seconds, as I had calculated earlier. But there's also a review. After a 6-year absence from the rap game, Sir Mix-a-Lot returns with a full length containing only an EP's worth of new and inspired ideas. A hint of the album that could have been, Game Don't Get Old, and its commentary on the rap industry represents a refreshingly reflective side to the rapper. The track is effervescent and catchy, as is the rocking Y'all Don't Know, but when Sir Mix-a-Lot falls back on his old, reliable, sex party music for the better part of the album, things get weak. Maybe it's the lack of decent production that makes the rapper sound more sleazy than sexy. Maybe it's just the fact that he's not the strapping young buck he used to be. For the party tunes, the music is harder and more skeletal than usual, with only Two Horse delivering the funky shuffle of his big hits. Without the required accompaniment, his raps come off as amusing, but are nothing to return to. The size-obsessed Big Johnson is a good example. Things get downright dull towards the end, until an entertaining guest spot from Digital Underground's Humpty Hump on At the Next Show breaks up the tedious second half of the disc. So that's confirmation that Shock G is actually Humpty. Lastly for reviews is Rate Your Music. It has an average rating of 2.3 stars out of 5, and there's no full-length reviews. However, there is a few short ones. Possibly 1 or 2 good songs, Hall of Shame, and Corona. I did find some info on the album from Daft FM. Get ready to groove with Sir Mix-a-Lot's latest album, Daddy's Home. This highly anticipated release showcases the iconic rapper's unique blend of catchy beats, thought-provoking lyrics, and unmistakable swagger. With over 20 years of experience in the music industry, Sir Mix-a-Lot continues to push boundaries and redefine the genre. Daddy's Home is a must-have for any hip-hop enthusiast, offering a fresh and exciting sound that will have you moving to the rhythm in no time. Released on date, Daddy's Home is Sir Mix-a-Lot's Number studio album. The album features number tracks filled with the artist's trademark blend of humor, social commentary, and infectious energy. As an industry veteran, Sir Mix-a-Lot expertly crafts each song to deliver a memorable and captivating listening experience. Whether you're a longtime fan or new to his music, Daddy's Home is guaranteed to leave a lasting impression. One standout track in the album is Song Name. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is just AI. On the site, the AudioDB, there's not much new. However, we do get a look at the CD. It does look rather bland, so I don't know if that's correct or not. Although the credits do look correct. Rhyme Cartel Records, iMusic, executive producers Sir Mix-a-Lot, Mark Geiger, and Ricardo Frazier. So I think we'll just have to cross-reference this with another source, just to be sure. Luckily, that's Discog's entire gimmick. So I looked up the album on there. Apparently it's never been sold. There's only 8 ratings. 58 people apparently have the album. 49 people want the album. And at least 3 versions exist, and they're all CDs. There's a US version, a European version, and then the promotional radio copy. 11 people say that they own the promo copy, so at least 11 of them exist, and were probably sent to radio stations at some point. Discogs also has high-resolution scans of the front and the back of the front insert, as well as one of the back insert. There's pictures of the front and back of the jewel case. We can confirm that the disc from AudioDB was correct. And there's even a different promo disc. I was able to find a blog post from before the album's release. Made in August of 2003, it does let us know that Big Johnson is a single, and that every single one of the features on the album are members of his posse, minus Hump. I was also able to find a Reddit post from 2014, which does very briefly mention Daddy's Home, as well as a couple tracks. All it really says is that Big Johnson isn't that good of a song, and that Y'all Don't Know is a really good song. But it has 2 links. One of them is a dead YouTube link, but one of them leads to a YouTube channel called Sir Mix-a-Lot Rare Music. And in addition to uploading Y'all Don't Know in 2014, there's also instrumental versions of Big Johnson and Two Horse. What I've gathered from the channel is that they just post things that they find, and they're not actually making the instrumentals or anything, which got me very curious as to where these instrumentals are from. Luckily, I found an answer on Discogs. Apparently, it's a promo compilation containing instrumentals of Y'all Don't Know, The Game Don't Get Old, Till the Sun Comes Up, Big Screen, Daddy's Girl, Nasty Girl, Candy, Two Horse, and Big Johnson. And the original of Babies Got Back. It's not for sale right now, but it was sold once in 2020 for $20. 2 people have the album, and 10 want it. My next lead came in Crane City Music's blog, Town Love. Their blog post is essentially just a review of the album, and the only new thing we learn is that they call Big Johnson the lead single. Whether that means there's more than one single on the album, I don't know. But they also don't explicitly say when the blog post was written, although they refer to Humpty Hump as the late Shock G, meaning that it was written after his death in 2021. So we can place this somewhere between April of 2021 and anywhere in 2023. At this point in the search, I was getting kind of desperate. I was at sites like In Music We Trust, which had an article detailing a 2003 interview with Sir Mix-a-Lot. It very briefly details the album, although there's nothing new to us, so it's not of much use. However, it was a very interesting interview. And that's when I came across musicweb.nl. I was just going to skip right past this, but then I noticed there's 30-second previews of the entire album. To make sure they're all correct, I decided to Shazam every single one of them. By confirming with Shazam, we can also see if the album is in Shazam's database, which it is, and we can also see how many times each song has been Shazammed. Daddy's Home is 70, Big Screen 42, The Game Don't Get Old 26, Big Johnson 70, Till the Sun Comes Up 168, Y'all Don't Know 54, Two Horse 32, Auction for Tricks 3, Candy 20, At the Next Show 26, Nasty Girl 37, Party Over Here 8, Big Ho 15, Resonate 83, and Papi Grande 47. But that's not all that we learned from this site. It has links to all of the songs on YouTube. Unfortunately, Daddy's Home, Big Screen, Game Don't Get Old, Auction for Tricks, At the Next Show, Nasty Girl, Big Ho, and Papi Grande have all been deleted from YouTube. Till the Sun Comes Up works, but that was expected. Y'all Don't Know links to the Sir Mix-a-Lot Rare Music channel. The link to Candy is only a 30-second snippet, and Two Horse is this weird deer video. Resonate, however, links to a video in the Project Gotham soundtrack. Apparently, Resonate was used in the soundtrack of Project Gotham Racing 2, and I looked for a long time, but I couldn't find anything else with Project Gotham that could help us. The last link that led to something interesting was Big Johnson, which led to a music video, apparently posted by one of the directors. It's in 240p and 95 kilobits per second, but it's a lot better than nothing. Another article, this time by 1037 KFFM, lists 10 cool things you probably did not know about Sir Mix-a-Lot. And number 2 is his favorite song is Y'all Don't Know from the Daddy's Home album. Unfortunately, they do not link a source, but this is somewhat interesting nonetheless. Additionally, Fandom's Hip Hop Wiki has a page for Sir Mix-a-Lot, and it briefly mentions Daddy's Home. Sir Mix-a-Lot signed with the independent label Artist Direct for his 2003 album Daddy's Home with Big Johnson as its lead single. But that's not the interesting part. In 2004, Sir Mix-a-Lot released a DVD entitled Shh, Don't Tell Him That. This feature by Image Entertainment offered a look at his unique career, released to celebrate the 2003 comeback album Daddy's Home. Unfortunately, this doesn't do much for our search right now, but it will come in very handy later. Now, for one of the weirdest ways to leak a song I've ever seen, Magnet Magazine has an interview with Sir Mix-a-Lot back in 2009. Nowhere in the interview does it mention Daddy's Home, but at the very bottom, it has a direct download to Y'all Don't Know. Looking at the metadata, the song is from iTunes, and it's in 160 kilobits per second. At this point in the search, I'm getting desperate, and I was also able to find a re-upload of the Big Johnson music video. This time, it's in a bit better quality, 480p, but the audio is still 95 kilobits per second. By this point, I was all out of leads. Before thinking, there's one more thing I can try. The Wayback Machine. I put in all of the links I've talked about so far in this video, all with very little success, until I got a great lead. What if I put in all the dead links from Musique? Trying them all, Daddy's Home, Big Screen, Game Don't Get Old, At the Next Show, Nasty Girl, Big Ho, and Papi Grande all returned this page, which was saved on June 10th, 2018. However, Big Johnson and Big Screen did something different. Big Johnson actually loaded, and you can watch the video. But you'll notice it was also saved October of 2024. Unfortunately, this just leads to YouTube's error page. But where things get super interesting is Big Screen. You can view it, and it reveals that these aren't official uploads at all, like I had originally thought, but rather being uploaded by a guy called Grinder Gallery. There isn't anything relevant on the channel, but the page also has a link to Grinder Gallery's upload of Till the Sun Comes Up, which, as expected, also doesn't work. This was everything that I was able to uncover with some simple Google searches and sleuthing. So let's take a short break to recap. We've always had access to Till the Sun Comes Up in 320 kilobits per second, but with this research, we've found 180 version of Y'all Don't Know, a 180 version of Resonate, 180 instrumentals of Two Horse and Big Johnson, a 95 kilobit per second music video of Big Johnson, and a version of Big Screen that we unfortunately can't download, as well as 30-second previews of the entire album. But I thought there must be a way that we can get beautiful 320 kilobit per second for the entire album. My first attempt was Pirate Bay, and there were 0 results. I really don't want to spend $50 on something that may or may not even exist. So I checked eBay, nothing. Discogs, nothing. At this point, I just thought, I'll wait. Something will show up on one of those sites eventually. I checked both sites every single day for over a year. Until one Wednesday, March 20th, Christmas came early. For $6.80, selling from Looney Tunes CDs in New York. Daddy's Home CD. Looney Tunes CDs is maybe the only reason this video is made in the first place. I can never repay them for getting me a great deal on Daddy's Home. Either way, the disc got here 3 days later. So, how's the album? Let's rate it one song at a time. Daddy's Home. This is the only song that Mix really changes his voice in. The chorus gets repetitive eventually, and the beat isn't that great. The flow is kinda all over the place, but I would give it about a 3 out of 5 stars. Big Screen. This track reminds me a lot of Nasty Dog and Bark Like You Want It. The flow is great, and Tamika Williams' vocals are phenomenal, and Mix's lyrics are pretty good as well. It's a solid 5 out of 5. Game Don't Get Old. This song goes into what being a rapper does to him, how he has no wife, no kids. The beat and the chorus get a little bit repetitive, but the lyrics are really good. 4 out of 5. Big Johnson. It's just 4 minutes of Mix humble bragging about his average-sized penis. The way he tries to work in internet references is interesting, to say the least. And Amelia Leston's background vocals can get old really fast, and the beat isn't anything to write home about. 2 out of 5. Till the Sun Comes Up. The beat is pretty annoying at first, but it does grow on you. The song's about playing in smaller clubs rather than large venues, which does seem to be Mix's philosophy after reading countless interviews of his. Out of Sight's verse is really good, and the reference to Mix's song F the BS was quite unexpected. I'd rate it 4 out of 5, although I would love to hear it live. Y'all Don't Know. This is definitely the best of the more serious songs on the album. It tells Mix's story from the beginning all the way to now. It exposes details like how most people assumed Baby Got Back was his first and only hit, when in reality, he had 2 prior albums, with hits like Posse on Broadway and Beepers. It honestly reminds me a lot of Wasting Time by Kid Rock, the way that the beat is a bit more rock than it is hip-hop. It feels almost like a subset song, like something Mix definitely enjoyed writing. 5 out of 5. Two Horse. This song is a classic Mix-a-Lot party track. The bars are great, and I think they accent the beat phenomenally. The breakdown isn't that good, but it doesn't subtract from the song or anything. 5 out of 5. Auction for Tricks. Well, it's a skit, so it's a bit hard to rate, but it is a spoof on a car auction, and I do think it's really funny. I don't mind listening to it at all, and it doesn't drag on too long. 5 out of 5. Candy. The song is super upbeat. The beat is great, and Mix's flow is consistent and kinda intense. 5 out of 5. At the Next Show. Shock G as a feature was so unexpected, but him and Mix on a song together is amazing to hear. It works so well knowing both of them. The beat is great, and it's full of references to Digital Underground songs. It's easily my favorite on the album. 5 out of 5. Nasty Girl. Mix's vocals are all over the place, and the beat is decent. The lyrics are okay, and Out of Sight's verse is the best part by far. Mix's segments and the chorus are okay at best. 2 out of 5. Party Over Here. Honestly, I think the chorus of this song might be inspired by the Ice Cube version of Bop Gun, but Mix and E-Dog are great together. The beat's a bit sporadic, but I do think it works well. My only complaint is that Mix's vocals aren't great. 4 out of 5. Big Ho. Honestly, I think this is Mix-a-Lot's worst song. The beat and the vocals are all over the place, and I don't think it works well in the slightest. It's boring, and it wants to be so many different things at the same time. 1 of 5. Resonate. The vocals are fast, and they're complemented heavily by the beat. It's upbeat, it's powerful, and I can understand why it's featured in Project Gotham Racing. 5 out of 5. Papi Grande. It's a slower-ish, more strange-sounding song, and as an album outro, it's phenomenal. The rhyme scheme's interesting, like it's trying to be more than one thing, but it complements itself rather than working against it, like some of the other songs on the album do. 5 out of 5. Overall, it's a pretty good album. While it definitely has some lows, the highs are incredible. I guess we can deconfirm the quality of the album as a reason why it isn't available today, at least. Even though I have the album now, I'm pretty much the only one that can listen to it. It's not on streaming, and then that made me think, why isn't it on streaming? Like, I've done all this searching, I've found what I'm looking for, but there's still something missing. So, to figure out why the album is unavailable, we need to first figure out the time frame in which it first disappeared, narrow down some theories, and then figure out some evidence for or against each one. To start, the album released in September 2003, and right now it's December of 2004. Although when I started my search, it was the beginning of 2023. The Amazon reviews stopped coming in around May of 2006, and then start coming in again at 2016, which is a bit confusing, but there was some activity on Genius Lyrics in about 2013, and that Reddit post I was talking about is from June of 2014. However, Sir Mix-a-Lot Rare Music also posted the rare Y'all Don't Know in June of 2014. And Till the Sun Comes Up and Big Johnson were released in February of 2017. What gets me is that Crane City Music's blog doesn't talk about the album as if it's rare or anything, and we know that it was written after April of 2021. There is a possibility that they edited it after Shock G died, but I don't think that's very likely. At this point, we have a very rough time frame, which doesn't really help us at all. That's when I remembered the Wayback Machine. The album itself hasn't been saved on Spotify. However, Mix-a-Lot's page was archived a handful of times over the past couple decades. We can see that the album first appeared on streaming in August of 2013. In October of 2014, an artist bio was added, which very briefly mentions Daddy's Home. Sir Mix-a-Lot signed with the small Artist Direct label and released his sixth album, Daddy's Home, in 2003. The lead single, Big Johnson, was a satire of men who exaggerated their manhood, written at the behest of female fans who wanted equal treatment in Sir Mix-a-Lot's sex rhymes. What's interesting is that Sir Mix-a-Lot's page still has that same exact bio, completely unedited, today. Now this is where things get interesting. Sometime between May and September of 2015, Spotify pruned some of their albums, meaning Mix-a-Lot's page is no longer full of compilations. And while pruning, Daddy's Home also disappeared. It could have been that this pruning actually took the album off Spotify, or perhaps the songs were taken off prior to this. So, what are the main theories? Well, the album was made on Artist Direct, or more specifically its sister company, iMusic, which shut down in 2003, very shortly after the release of the album. So there could be an issue with licensing the music, although that doesn't explain why it was allowed to go on streaming in the first place, or why Till the Sun Comes Up is still standing. Perhaps it was out of embarrassment. It's not very likely, but it could be that Mix didn't think the album was up to its standards. But I don't think so. KFFM did say that Y'all Don't Know was Mix-a-Lot's favorite song he ever recorded. And this still doesn't explain Till the Sun Comes Up. Plus, if he didn't think it was up to his standards, why would he play both Big Johnson and Till the Sun Comes Up live in 2017? What if it was an accident on Spotify's part? Maybe when they pruned their albums, they mistakenly removed Daddy's Home. This does explain why Till the Sun Comes Up could have stayed, because there was also the single version listed on Spotify. However, the odds of this happening are astronomically small. And something interesting to note is that Sir Mix-a-Lot has a handful of singles, but Till the Sun Comes Up is the only one available on Spotify. Personally, I think some copyright issue with Artist Direct is the most likely, but I put that aside for the next segment. Contact. Mix-a-Lot doesn't have a way to contact him anywhere, but I was able to find the management email of his producer, Ricardo Frazier. Now, this email is very easy to find online, but please do not harass Ricardo Frazier. Daddy's Home not being on streaming is almost certainly not his fault, and even if it was, harassing him will not fix the issue. Nonetheless, I emailed Ricardo Frazier, asking him if he'd be interested in answering a few questions about the album. He replied the next morning. Hi Lily, can you tell me more about your channel and or send me a link to the channel please? Also, what is your intended use of the material? Thank you, Ricardo. Clearly there is a little bit of miscommunication. I think he thinks that I want to use the songs in a YouTube video. So I left a link to 2 of my videos, clarified the conclusion, asked a few questions, and I never got a reply. It's kinda hard to say why I wasn't given a response. It could be that Fraser didn't feel comfortable answering the question. He could have not known, or maybe it was just too much effort. Or more likely, he saw that my most recently uploaded video was me recreating 9/11 in Bad Piggies and decided I'm probably not the best person to give any information to. But we may never know for sure. Yeah, I bought a DVD of the Mix-a-Lot movie. Fandom said that the film was released to celebrate his 2003 comeback album, Daddy's Home, so I thought I'd order it in case it mentioned anything about the album. It was a lot easier to find than the album was. I got some popcorn, threw the disc in the DVD player, and sat back. It immediately started with an excerpt of Daddy's Home. It also featured live recordings of Till the Sun Comes Up and Y'all Don't Know. And it used Big Johnson as the credits song. Unfortunately, that's the only role Daddy's Home plays anywhere in that movie. Don't get me wrong, it was a great film, very informative, but not quite what I was looking for. So, how do you listen to the album? Because I have a feeling some people have just skipped to this timestamp, I'll rehash this. Do not, no matter what, harass Mix-a-Lot or Ricardo Frazier about the album. There's a link in the description to a 320 kilobyte upload of the entire album that I've ripped from the CD. Mix-a-Lot or Ricardo Frazier, if you're watching this, you've left me no choice but to pirate your music. I will revoke access to the link on the condition that the album be added back to streaming. If you're watching this and the link doesn't work, that means the album has been added back to streaming. There's also, in the description of this video, a link to a YouTube channel that has the whole album uploaded to it. Honestly, all I really want out of this is just to see this album come back to streaming. Thank you all so much for sticking around till the end. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content, feel free to subscribe. If there's enough interest in the topic, I might make an entire Sir Mix-a-Lot iceberg video. Big thanks to my Ko-Fi supporters, Ty Coolbomb, Rocker Launcher, and Free Space of J.